If someone gave you $1 million right now, what would you do? And no, I don't have $1 million to give you. I could use 1 million myself. I used to ask myself that question a lot. As a kid, it gave me a lot of comfort. I was drowning in poverty in Mogotio, Kenya. We were struggling with food and basic sustenance. And so I would think about the future. I would think how, as I got older and I have money, I could build a big kitchen to feed everyone in my community. And if I have even more money, I could build a big estate to house all the people who are living in slums. How kids could just be kids, not have to worry about their next meal, their health, or missing out of school because their family could not afford tuition. Even though my life was really sad, the possibility of rewriting my childhood gave me so much hope and joy. I studied really hard in school too because I believed if I got good grades, I had a better chance of realizing my dreams. And when I asked myself that question in high school, the answer was, how could I use that money to break the cycle of poverty in my community? I saw how hard my mom was working to afford my tuition. I still worked hard and got good grades, but it dawned on me that so many people in my community were just as educated, with degrees and even masters, but they were unemployed. I looked at my dear mom. She only had a 6th grade education, yet she sold all her cows to educate my sisters and I. It made me extremely sad that families were sinking deeper into poverty just to educate their children, only for those children to end up unemployed. So maybe with $1 million, I could create employment. I asked myself that when I was a junior software engineer working really hard to climb the corporate ladder. I thought if I became a top executive and had all the influence and money, what would I do? And the answer was, I will donate to an organization that is working to sustainably fix poverty. An organization that understands all the systemic issues at play that make it really hard to make it in rural Kenya. And as I was pondering, I learned about companies outsourcing their IT to countries all over the world. I learned about all the computers going to waste in the corporate world. Computers that could be used to train a pipeline of remote workers and create a lot of opportunities for rural Africans to make a living. I thought about people in my community working remotely as software engineers for Google. Just thinking about all the possibility made me so warm and fuzzy that I decided to leave my corporate job and start TechLit Africa. That question gives you the framework to find out what you really care about. If you had all the money in the world, what would you choose to do? If you had nothing to lose, what would you do? To put it simply, why? I ask myself why a lot, even in the day-to-day. Why did I get offended by that? Why did that make me insecure? Why did that make me sad? I ask myself, why, when TechLit gets really hard, when all I want to do is give up, when I'm working really hard and nothing is happening, when I'm already drowning and something even more gut-wrenching happens, I ask myself, why are you not giving up? Then I think about Lady, a 9-year-old who is teaching her mom touch typing. I think about Bowen, a 6th grader who built his own website after only 3 months of our HTML classes. I think about Sami, teaching Python to his classmates in their native language. I think about all those kids, how their stories will be different. And so exhausted, stressed, and overwhelmed, I show up and fight for another day. Asking myself why all the time has made me self-aware, purposeful, and kind. It has given me more energy and drive than anything else. It has made me attuned to my goals, aspiration, and my internal voice. My second mantra is just start. When I thought about rewriting my childhood and creating more opportunities for the next generation of Kenyan kids, building a school seemed like an obvious decision. So in my junior of college, I built a school. I thought it would be easy. I thought I would just make a GoFundMe page, start construction, and be done. I was so sure I could raise the funds that I had contractors and started. But then I only raised $300. I was at crossroads. I could, of course, stop, but I couldn't bring myself to. I had to find a way, and I did. Overcoming that became the reference for the things I took on. I gained confidence in my abilities to make things happen and the courage to make bold moves. I started with 4 classrooms, and when I got my first job, I added 3 more classrooms. I loved every little progress I made, so I kept investing in the school. Now it's a 4-storied community center with kids having all the kinds of things I wanted growing up and even more. I first used a computer after high school. Yeah, let's clap. Yeah. I'll take the claps. Thank you. Now I lost my track. Come on. Okay, let's do this. Okay. Now it's a 4-storied community center with kids having all the things I wanted growing up and even more. I first used a computer after high school. They are building websites. I memorized planets. They are having Zoom calls with NASA. I struggled to break into tech. They are growing up with tech. I deserve better, and because of that, they're getting the world. As a founder, I have so many roles: program, marketing, HR, fundraising. Some of them are not even my strong suits. Some of them I have to figure out. So I learn as I go. I forgive myself for the mistakes I make along the way. So whatever it is, just start. Because once you start, you have 2 options: keep going or give up. You are likely to keep going because progress is intoxicating. Lastly, be kind to yourself. It's very easy in the world of social media to compare your life. It's very easy in the world of social media to compare your life to other people. I catch myself doing that all the time. I look at other leaders who seem to have it all figured out, and I feel like I'm not cut out for this. It's a constant struggle. The line between being inspired by them and not comparing myself to them. To look at other people making it and feel like there's something wrong with you. We all have different ambitions, drives, fears, and talents. Everyone's life is as complex as your own. So someone else's journey should not be the yardstick to measure yours. Create your own path. Celebrate the milestones you make along the way, and forgive yourself for the mistakes you make. I was recently in a room of really impressive leaders, the kind that make me feel like I need to do more. Our facilitator gave us a prompt. You are giving a speech and you see the audience making faces. Not you. Okay, write down what comes to your head. We then folded the papers and threw it across the room a couple of times. In groups of 10, we read what was on them. Our common theme was, she doesn't know what she's talking about. He's only here because of X. She's just lucky. He then tells us that he has done this exercise in many rooms. Rooms full of executives, politicians, celebrities, and the response is all the same. He then says, we are our biggest bullies. We judge ourselves too harshly from what we say, how we look, the thoughts we have. So be kind to yourself. You are allowed to make mistakes. Be free, try, fail, learn, unlearn, relearn. So as you get out there, live out your purpose. Find out what you care about. Just start and be kind to yourselves. Congratulations.